Hi, mom friends. It's Erin Slutsky. I'm so excited to be here with you today. I was playing hide and seek with my two youngest girls the other day. They're 15 and 17. And I found the best hiding spot. It was in the basement in the utility closet. You know, the closet that you put your hot water heater and furnace in, the one that no one ever really goes into? That's where I was hiding. And I could hear my girls above me walking all over the place. They were yelling, "Mom, where are you? Give us a hint. We can't find you." So I had my phone on me and I was texting them, warmer, warmer, colder, colder, and they still couldn't find me. I could tell they were getting really frustrated. They were getting so frustrated, they were ready to give up. Then I got to thinking, isn't that kind of like us sometimes? Us moms get so frustrated because we're looking and looking for ourselves. We get so frustrated sometimes that we want to give up. Can you relate? I want to show you how you can rediscover who you are through the Enneagram. Let me share my screen and we will get the presentation going. So, have you forgotten who you are? As moms, we are so consumed with our children and their schedules and what they're going to eat and what they're going to do and providing the best opportunities for them, on top of our other roles as maybe a wife or an employee or a daughter taking care of older family members. We have forgotten who we are. It takes self awareness to rediscover who you are and become the mom you want to be. The mom you want to be, right? Not the perfect mom, because your kids don't want a perfect mom. They want you. But sometimes things get in the way, like fear or anger or shame. We find ourselves comparing, especially on social media. Are we doing it as good as them? Ooh, maybe we should be doing that, right? We doubt ourselves that we're giving our children the best. Sometimes we feel out of control and we just want things to go our way. And we get out of control ourselves and sometimes find ourselves yelling at our children too much. Then we feel guilty for doing that. We are living somewhere between exhausted and terrified. I was meeting with one of my clients, Jessica, and she came to me at the end of her rope. She had had enough. She couldn't get her kids to do what she needed them to do. They weren't listening. She found herself yelling at them all the time. The time came when her son came home from school and he told her, "I want my teacher to be my mommy because she's nice." Oh, doesn't that just kill you? Have your kids ever said anything like that before? Jessica was a type 2 on the Enneagram. Some of her core fears were being rejected or unwanted, useless or abandoned. And so when her son came home from school and told her that, oh, that hit her right in the core. We needed to set some goals for her. She wanted to stop yelling. She wanted to be helpful with her kids and their homework. She wanted to be appreciated, needed, and loved. But a few things were getting in her way. She was giving her kids all the opportunities in order to get. She was so dependent on them. And when she wasn't getting what she wanted, she got angry. I worked with her a little bit and I helped her become a calm, patient mom, one that was loving and confident in who she was so she could give her children the mom that they deserved. I get it, mom friends. I'm a mom of 4 daughters. This is them about 10 years ago. I found myself stressed out all the time because I was trying to control everything that they did. I felt guilty because my oldest had ear infections for more than 2 years and we didn't even know it. She had speech problems and some learning setbacks because of that. I compared my parenting and my mothering to other moms around. I compared my kids to the other kids around. I also did a lot of this alone. My husband and our family were far away, and we really didn't have many friends in the area. But I grew up a little bit, and so did they. Here they are about a year ago, and my little granddaughter journey. I took the time to learn about myself and rediscover who I was. I learned why I do what I do, and I asked for help. I'm not only speaking from experience, I'm also a nurse, an accredited Enneagram practitioner, and a MOPS International mentor and coach with over 20 years of experience. I understand child development and family dynamics. So, where do you start? Does your house look like this at any time? Kids running the show? You have almost given up and just let things go? Where do you start from here? Starts with you, mom friend. You know the analogy of the oxygen mask when you're on the airplane and the flight attendant says, when the oxygen mask comes down, put it on your child first, then yourself. No, that's not what they say, is it? They say put it on yourself first, then your child. But why is that? Because if we don't have air, we're not going to be able to help our kids, are we? They need us to be the mom they deserve. But what does that self-care look like? Well, the best kind of self-care is self-awareness. Self-awareness creates confidence and a sense of identity. It provides a framework to understand why you do what you do. It increases your compassion for yourself and for others. It creates a lasting change, not just that hour manicure, which is great sometimes, but self-awareness is lasting. And it all begins with what you value. So, what do you value? Do you value control and wanting to make sure that everything is in the way you want it to be? Do you value harmony and peace in the home? How about what is right and good and just? Some moms believe that being liked is super valuable and helping people is the most important thing. Success or achievement can be one of your values. Uniqueness and being one of a kind. What about understanding and gaining knowledge? Is that something you value? Safety and security is something that all moms value, but there's other moms that find that at the top of their list. And other moms value experiences and adventure. This is the Enneagram. Ennea means 9, and there's 9 points on the Enneagram diagram. So if you haven't already, pause the recording and go to momsenscoaching.com. Take the MomType Finder and check your email for the link. You will need that result as we go on. Let's talk about those mom types. The first one is go with your gut mom. You're the knowing mom, the instinctual mom. That's what informs what you should do. You are in tune with your body and the messages it tells you. You're concerned with control, security, and belonging. You can be spontaneous, which can be fun for your kids, or it can cause them stress because they need a little time to process. Anger is a trouble spot. Sometimes it's knocking at the door, while other times it's hiding in a deep, dark closet. Enneagram numbers 8, 9, and 1 fall in this category. Then we have the heartfelt mom. Your feelings are the first way you process the world around you. Then you react to them. After you've had some time to think about it, then you do it. You value success, relationships, and you perform up to the expectations of your role as a mom. Emotional self awareness, connection, and deep relationships are gifts you give your kids. You need lots of affirmation to feel loved. Otherwise, feelings of shame rear their head. Enneagrams 2, 3, and 4 fall in this category. Then we have the thoughtful mom. You filter information through your thoughts and ideas, gathering information, figuring things out, and rational decision making. Then you act on that. You are great at analyzing, but you got to be careful for that analysis paralysis. Your kid's schedule may tell you a lot about what you value. You want to give them every opportunity, and FOMO, fear of missing out, is always nearby. Other fears motivate you to keep your kids safe, or else mama bear comes out. Enneagrams 5, 6, and 7 fall in this category. So I want you to take your MomType Finder result and combine it with your stance. A stance is just how we move in the world, and there's 3 different ways we do that. We are either compliant, withdrawn, or aggressive. When I think of someone who's aggressive or assertive, I think of Wonder Woman. She goes right into the battle, right? These moms move against others. They may be demanding or impatient with their children. They are direct and upfront, and they have a future time orientation. They're always looking to the future, planning and looking ahead, which leaves them having a hard time remembering and learning from their mistakes in the past. Then we have the dependent or compliant stance. I think of Rachel from Friends. She just kind of goes with the flow and everyone seems to like her. The dependent mom moves with or towards others. They seek validation from others and their children to see if they're doing what is right. They are perception focused. They want to make sure they are perceived in the best light. And these are the moms that are present time oriented. They live in the here and now, which is great, but they have a hard time looking back and a hard time planning for the future. Then we have the withdrawn or the detached stance. I think of Pocahontas with this one. She goes off down the river bend and maybe she meets with grandmother Willow, but she needed to get away from the chaos before she entered into it because it was so overwhelming to her. These moms can be a dreamer and live in an ideal world. They're private moms as well. These moms have a pastime orientation. These are the ones that are reminiscing and looking back at the good old days. They might even feel a sense of regret, and they have a hard time looking towards the future. So which one did you find yourself in? The aggressive, dependent, or withdrawn? You're going to combine that with your MomType Finder, thoughtful, heartfelt, or go with your gut. For example, I am an aggressive or assertive mom. I walk into a room and I go straight for the host or the speaker or the teacher and I find who's in charge. I go straight to them. And on my MomType Finder result, I found the heartfelt mom was most what I related to. So if you combine those two, you come up with a 3. I will leave this up here for a short moment so you can do your work. Okay, so hopefully that gave you an idea of your Enneagram type. It's a place to start. It's not 100% accurate. So as you learn about the different types, you might do a little shifting. So let's start with the 8s. The 8 type mom, you need to feel in control. Use your energy, because you've got lots of it, to help teach your kids with activities, but be careful not to take over. Be intentional about letting your kids guide and take the lead sometimes. It's easy to get too busy, become rigid, or overreact. So take a moment to relax. Simplify your schedule, your tasks, and your mindset so there's less pressure to keep up an exhausting pace. The 9 moms, you need to feel harmony and peace, but don't lose your sense of self in the process of parenting, even if you typically avoid conflict. Be the strong mom your kids need. Discipline and scheduling might be hard, but it's so good to set those boundaries for your sanity and theirs. Be consistent and use apps or reminders if you need help. Structure doesn't have to be stressful. The 1 moms, you need to have all your ducks in a row, don't you? Don't be afraid of imperfection. Do something silly or spontaneous that makes you feel good and reminds you that you don't have to be responsible every single second. Life with kids is going to be full of not so perfect moments and unpredictability. Try to embrace it. The 2s, you need to feel enough. Don't feel guilty for wanting or needing to focus on yourself. Practice self care away from the kids. Indulge in an independent activity that helps you set boundaries between yourself as a mom and yourself as a person with interests outside of mom life. The 3s, you need outside approval to feel valued. Remind yourself that your worth is not based on what you did or didn't accomplish today. Write down affirmations or set encouraging reminders to yourself on your calendar. Create small goals to work toward with your kids and celebrate completing them. Embrace the slow pace. Remember that each day as a mom can be an accomplishment in itself. The 4s, you need to feel connected and engaged. You aren't like everyone else, and that's okay. Don't focus on what you think might be missing in your journey as a mom. Focus on seeing the beauty and uniqueness in your kids, your day, or your path. Balance feeling all the things by checking out for solo reflection, even if it's just for a few minutes while blaring a playlist. 5s, you need to feel knowledgeable. If anyone has the answer, it's probably you. But overthinking can lead to too much stress or too much alone time separate from your family. Take time to engage and be attentive, making a point to share your thoughts and your skills in a way that feels good. But be comfortable with knowing you don't need to know everything. 6s, you need to feel secure. You ever feel like a helicopter mom? I want you to be intentional about stepping back to let little things go. Remember, kids need to learn on their own, even as you guide them. Don't imagine worst case scenarios, but leave room for mistakes and discipline so you can celebrate those learning moments. And 7s, you need to be happy where you are. You ever feel like you're missing out on something? FOMO? You might feel like everyone else is doing so much while you're just doing mom stuff. Make your everyday tasks an exciting adventure. Prioritize and say no as needed so you don't feel spread thin, but say yes to fun and meaningful activities that you can do together. So now that you have an idea of what your Enneagram type might be, so what? It's just a number, right? They're just letters. They're just different personality types. Different personality tests have letters or colors. So what? This is where the Enneagram comes in and is so helpful because the more we know each other, because we've forgotten who we are, the more self-aware we can become. And we can notice our motivations and why we do what we do. We can observe the patterns that we act on or think about or feel. And we can see how those patterns affect others and our relationships with them. And sometimes it even affects our health. And this is where transformation comes in. We are able to change our choices, which will lead to freedom. Freedom to give your kids the mom they deserve. Freedom to become the mom you want to be. And freedom to enjoy being a mom. Or you can continue being frustrated, depressed, angry, full of regret, or anxious. But I know you want to be confident and equipped, happy, full of peace, and empowered. I get a lot of questions. I'm going to go through a couple of them that I get all the time that you might even have right now. What type is my child? Wouldn't that be helpful, huh? I don't believe we can type our kids. They're not grown enough yet. But remember those stances we talked about? We can observe our kids and figure out which stance they're in and maybe eliminate some of the numbers. For example, the aggressive or assertive stance are the 3s, 7s, and 8s. Those are the kids that just go for life. You drop them off, you go to the playground, and they are just running straight for the top of the jungle gym. Or you might have a child that plays well with others and gets along with everyone, is easygoing. Maybe they're a 1, 2, or a 6 in that dependent stance. Or maybe you've got the shy one, or the one that is totally content curling up in a corner with a book. Those would be the 4, 5s, and 9s. So if you know your child's stance, you can know how they're seeing the world. Another question I get from moms is, can I change types? They want to know, am I this type as a mom, this type as an employee, this type as a wife? I don't think so. But we do move on the Enneagram diagram. It depends on if we're stressed, how healthy we are, how self aware we are. We have all 9 types in us, but we move. On either side of your number are your wings, and I want you to use both of them to fly. Then you see these lines that come from your number and they go to other numbers. That's what happens if we're stressed out or if we're healthy. It's also a whole other workshop I would love to go through with you, but we'll leave that for another time. If you do have questions, if you do want to go deeper into this and figure out and rediscover who you are, reach out. Let's connect one-on-one. I'd love to talk to you. We can discover and gain perspective in one-on-one coaching. You can explore your core motivations and gain confidence as a mom. Or you can go even further and transform yourself to build your confidence and learn lifelong strategies. The Enneagram test that I use in my coaching practice is called the IEQ 9. It is a very thorough 120 question, elaborate report that you receive. If you're looking for something that's more like 95% accurate and you really want to dig, let me know. I'll connect you. Here's how you can get a hold of me: email, social media, Facebook. There's other videos on YouTube that you might want to check out, but I would love to talk to you if you're ready. Are you ready, Mom? Are you ready to rediscover who you are and become the mom you want to be?